Alright, today is Sunday, February the 10th at 8:59 p.m. Well, Central Time. That's a minute behind. Alright, so on my other phone it shows 11 o'clock New York time. That's what time we're going to go off of. Anyway, that's not on Wi-Fi or nothing. So, today's video is just me trying to find out who is going to be the first of you three who is going to speak. This is something I did not think about originally, and I was trying to think of a fair and reasonable way of choosing somebody. So here is how I have done it. So if you look here on my laptop, I have your last names in alphabetical order: Barker, Ruff, and Shones. So I'm going to roll a dice, and if the dice rolls a 1 or a 4, Barker is the first one that would be doing your opening statement. If 2 or 5 is rolled, then Ruff would be the first person to do the opening statement. If a 3 or a 6 is rolled, then Shones would be the one who does the opening statement first. Once the first person is chosen to do the opening statement first, then the other two will be selected from rolling the dice of a 1, 3, 5 person. One of the two people will be chosen to be second in place to do the opening statement. So, without over-explaining this, I'm just going to go ahead and do the thing that I'm talking about. So, I got a die on my phone. I'm going to tap that screen, and it's going to roll some random number. So, okay. So, all right, here I have a phone recording. Down here I have the die. And just underneath that phone, I have the time, 11:02 New York time. So, here I'm rolling the die. I tap the screen, and it rolls some random number, 1 through 6. And you can see how random that seems to be. I just rolled 2 3s in a row. Another 3. That's incredible. Anyway, so on the third roll, that is the one I'm going to count. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. A 4 goes to Barker. So Barker will be the first person to speak on the opening statement. And then we will go with Barker. So we'll just go down the line here. So we'll put R for Ruff and S for Shones. So if I roll a 1, 3, or a 5, Ruff would be second after Barker on the opening statement. Maybe I'm off screen. Anyway, here I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and on the third roll is the one we're going to go off of. So 1, 3, or 5 is Ruff. 2, 4, 6 is Shones. So 1, 2, 3, 1. 1 goes to Ruff. So Ruff, then Shones. So the opening statement is going to go Barker, Ruff, Shones. And here is where I am no longer going to be using the dice. So I'm done for the dice. Move the dice out of the way. And now we can look at the time, 11:04. And that's only to show that, I'm not editing something or whatever, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. So let me move this phone back over here. Alright, so we're good. Alright, so opening statement is Barker, Ruff, Shones, and now we can rotate. So the second person is first, third person is second, and first would be third. So second person here is Ruff. So Ruff, Shones, Barker on the first question. Shones, Barker, Ruff. Second question. You can see how this is going. So Barker, Ruff, Shones, Ruff, Shones, Barker, right? Yes. And then, let's see. Barker, Ruff, Shones, Ruff, RS, 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 RS. Okay, then it would be Shones, Barker, Ruff, Barker, Ruff, Shones. And then here we get into, after my 6 questions anyway, it'll be time for public questions, and public questions are going to, that's outside of my control. So whomever in the public wants to ask questions, they're going to ask questions of one of the 3 of you. So however long that takes, I have no idea. This could be the end of the debate, depending on the number of questions the public has. Because my questions 7 through 12 are only to fill any time that if there wouldn't be enough questions to have a reasonable town hall. So if there's enough questions from the public and time is filled properly, then we're going to go directly to closing statements, where you guys will have a couple of minutes each to give your closing statements. And I have that figured out as well. So let's say that I get to ask my 6 questions. You all get 3 minutes each to answer your questions. We do public questions, and then we skip 7 through 12 straight into closing statements, right? So then we would go Ruff, Shones, Barker. Okay? So that's what happens if there's 6 questions, public questions, and then closing statements. If that does not happen, then what will happen is we'll carry on to question 7. And question 7 is Ruff, Shones, Barker, Shones, Barker, Ruff, Barker, Ruff, Shones, Ruff, Shones, Barker, Shones, Barker, Ruff, yeah, and then Barker, Ruff, Shones, and then Barker, Ruff, yeah, and then closing statement would be Ruff would be first, Shones second, and Barker would be last. So I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm trying to minimize the amount of guesswork and any bias that could come from me. By rolling dice and doing with this system, the dice gives it a random person to be chosen for the first person to speak. And then rolling dice again for 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6 gives another random person for the second and third chance to speak. And then just rotating you guys gives it some kind of order outside of any bias control, so that I don't choose one or the other. So if there's any questions or any disputes with this, let me know. I'm going to be sending this video to you guys via email, and this video will only be available to you guys. But if you don't want to watch this video, it's already on for 10 freaking minutes, then I'm going to try to explain it in a text form to your email. So my apologies for stretching this video out, but as you see, I did this directly in front of you. I originally started with alphabetical order using your last name. Alphabetical order using your last name gives me Barker, Ruff, then Shones. And then, dice numbers, opening statement, and then the order that questions are given. So any questions, let me know. I apologize for this long video. So I see you guys Sunday, February the 18th. You guys can show up as early as 5 o'clock, but The town hall debate begins at 6, and I'm hoping you guys can be there around 5:30 so that we can have some discussions, and we can all be familiar with the microphone, podium, and setup, because the setup I am planning on doing, I'm negotiable with that setup, and you'll see what I mean when you get there. So, again, thank you all for participating, your willingness to participate in this. The public, the feedback I have gotten has been nothing but excitement. I still don't have any idea how many people is going to show up. None. But I would be surprised if there was less than, 30. I'm going to be surprised. But, we'll see what happens. So, anyway, I'm done talking. Later.